The name of Tony Spelatro has attracted the attention of law enforcement officials, some of whom think Spelatro is the most cunning and dangerous member of the crime syndicate.
In 1963, Spelatro was accused of the murder of a loan shark. Spelatro was acquitted when his co-defendant was shotgunned to death. In 1979, Spelatro suffered 2 convictions for filing a false loan application. The sentence, a $1 fine. In 1974, Spelatro was arrested here in Las Vegas for murder. The case was dropped. Later that year, Spelatro was accused of defrauding the Teamsters Union. All of the defendants, including some of the top men in the Chicago mob, were acquitted after the untimely death of the prosecution's star witness. A 1981 racketeering case is still pending in court. Prosecutors were appealing that case. In 1983, Spelatro was tried for the torture murder of 2 Chicago street punks. He was acquitted. There were at least 15 other arrests, not a single conviction. Law enforcement officials had yet to beat Spelatro in court. A longtime Chicago mob observer reported,
"Some predict Tony will take a big fall someday, but it hasn't happened yet. So far, Spelatro has lived a charmed life."
That charmed life ended last week. If the killers follow true to form of most mob hits, Spelatro's murderers will likely go unpunished. Mark Fierro, Eyewitness News 8.
Hey guys, welcome back. It's Mob Vlog, and here we are on, it's Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. Welcome back, guys. Mob Vlog. How you doing today, Red?
I'm doing chipper. I'm doing good.
Chipper, huh? That's good.
It's hotter than hell here, though. I swear, it's 87 degrees.
Warming up there, is it?
Oh yeah.
Well, it's getting there here in Vegas too. Although it's the weather's beautiful right now. It's so gorgeous out here. I mean, really gorgeous. Matter of fact, it was so beautiful out yesterday that I was wearing and you know who I had with me on the tour? Huh? Paul Whitcomb.
Oh wow.
Paul Whitcomb and his wife. Yeah. Hey guys, thanks for doing the tour. Hey guys, welcome back to Mob Vlog. Check out who's here in town. It's Paul Whitcomb and his beautiful wife, Mo. What'd you guys think of the tour?
Fantastic. I loved it.
What'd you think, Mo?
It was great.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Did it feel like 2.5 hours?
It was like 10 minutes. I want to go again.
That's what everybody says. Thanks again for coming on the tour, guys. I really do appreciate it. And you guys have a great day. Hey, thanks again for coming on the tour, Paul. I hope that you enjoyed the dinner and the show afterward. And it was a pleasure having you with. Everybody doesn't say, I want to go again. They all say it seemed like it was only, 10, 15 minutes. It goes by so fast, so quickly.
I got a kick out of when you said that's what they all say, and I've never heard somebody say I
want to go again.
Yeah.
We've had people do the tour a second time.
Oh yeah.
So then we've had people just do the tour once, like these folks from Michigan. Hey guys, welcome back, Mob Vlog. And I just got done with the mob tour, and these 4 beautiful people were on the tour. What do you guys think?
Amazing. I'd do it.
There you have it. And they're from Michigan, all the way from Michigan.
Right. Yeah.
If you came from Michigan, you guys got to come out here and do it too. So thanks again, guys.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yes, definitely.
Prescribe. So I haven't looked. I got 92 comments. I haven't read a single comment yet. So just want to say hello, everybody. I don't know who's in the room because I'm not looking yet. But speaking of the mob,
we have the regular share. Hello, Bill. How you doing?
Hey, William Kirchmayer. But Red, the other day, Lake Mead is getting so empty. It's just, I don't know, we're in a drought. We've been in a drought for a long time.
Yeah.
And the Lake Mead is emptying so much that things are starting to be revealed about
things.
Yes, things are being revealed about Lake Mead. The other day, a couple days ago, in Lake Mead, they found a barrel, a 55-gallon steel drum with a body in it, washed up on Lake Mead because of
so far, from what I understand, it's a male, and he was killed in the 70s to early 80s.
Right. And isn't it funny? Because late 70s, early 80s, geez.
A lot went on back then.
There's a lot going on in town. I mean, there was a lot going on in town. So there were a lot of people, big players that were still here. including Tony Spelatro.
Yes.
Yeah, there were some heavy hitters in town. So, Allie said to me, "You think that has something to do with the mob?"
Yeah, I know. I do. Honestly, I don't think it was a crime of passion.
You think? No, bodies just end up in barrels at the bottom of Lake Mead. That's what happens here in Las Vegas. Oh, by the way, the police, they say that as the lake recedes and keeps going down, they're likely to discover more things. You think?
Yeah, I do.
Come on.
A lot of sins are buried there.
Yeah, a whole lot. Frank Ferraro, Catherine Guerrero, Greg Bradshaw, All Two Customs, Keith Helton, Scott, Eric Epstein. Sorry you're not making the show. John Calgairos, Brian Hughes, Pete Byron, Bobby Bag of Donuts. My God, Bobby Bag of Donuts. You give me for my birthday. Got a bean box. Man, we've been digging through this bean box, trying some of these. Thank you again for that. That was really kind of you, Bobby. I appreciate you. I appreciate what you did. Scott H, Tony Johnson, Street Stories. Anthony's in the house. Keith Helton, Joe Clark. Good to see you, Joe. Outfit Boss, Tommy Bridges, Sean Pender. Hello, everybody. Tony Johnson. Got some new names in here too. Good to see you, Tony. Philip Corti is here. So, hi, everybody.
We got Chicago Joe.
Nureddin, 1965. Chicago Joe, Northside Drive, Holman Sanders. Joe Collada. Pat was probably 86. When he died, Dr. Pat was 85. About that age, though. Don Ciccio, D. Portzalo, it's good to see you. Leanne rolling along. Everybody's in here. Chris Edmondson, Luminous Grin. Greg Hart. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. And if you're just coming in to the room and you haven't been here before, on Mob Vlog, we talk about the Chicago outfit. And that's pretty much what we talk about. Red here was a porn store. You're an associate. You were a porn store operator. And you knew Tony Spelatro, you knew Frank the German Schweiss, you knew
the whole Grand Avenue crew.
Whole Grand Avenue crew, right? So that's who Red is, and Red has a book out. You can go to redwemette.com and check that out. Guys, thanks for coming into the room. So let's talk about this. Let's get started, because we're going to talk about the greatest hits of the Chicago outfit. And we got a thumbnail with Jasper Campise's feet hanging out of a trunk. That's what the thumbnail is. So
he had company in there too. It was Johnny Gattuso.
Johnny Gattuso was in there with him, right? And it's one of the only times that there was two bodies in one trunk.
That's the only time I know of ever in history.
I know of another time.
You do?
Yeah. Tony and Michael Spelatro.
They weren't in a trunk. Yeah, they must have. Yeah,
they put them in a trunk, didn't they? Together, and then they took them out there.
It could have been a van, because they had vans there were minivans that were there.
Well, wasn't it in the trial? Didn't it come out in Family Secrets?
I don't believe it did.
Really? See, that's just
nobody saw how they transported them, because that was a different part of that crew. They all went separately to that house in Bensonville.
Okay.
But only certain people went to dispose of the bodies. So, was it in the trunk? Yeah, okay. Maybe it was the trunk of a car. Maybe it was a Lincoln. I don't know. We always said they were two-body trunks.
Yeah, Lincolns had big trunks.
Oh, yeah.
Lincolns had really big trunks. Greatest hits in the mob. Luminous Grin, I said the greatest hits in the mob, not the greatest tits in the mob. Okay? What's on your mind, Luminous Grin? I think I know.
He's got a grin.
He sure does. Okay, Joseph Brennan Jr., Eminem were both in the trunk together too.
They were?
and McCarthy.
Okay, so
there's another instance. Okay,
so
there's three times that we know about the trunk in the car. Little Miss Can't Be Wrong. You know, the Spin Doctors. You don't remember that song? Little Miss Can't Be Wrong. That's why I kept calling her Little Miss Can't Be Wrong the other day. Good to have you in the room again, and good to see you on the show. So yeah, there's another time that we had that you had two in the trunk together. Be careful, Adam, when you say that real fast. greatest hits. The greatest hits. You got to say the greatest hits, you know? Like Peanut Spansco. Like Peanut Spansco. It's just how fast you say it. Well, thank you very much, Brett. I'm glad that you like it. So, I'm glad you like the shirt. So, did they have to pull? They must have had to pull Jasper's body out of the trunk for that pick. I think the trunk was closed when they got there. Yeah, I think so.
They pried it open. They sniffed it first, then they pried it open.
Yeah. See,
they put
so
handkerchiefs over their face when they pried it open with a tire iron.
Yeah. What did you just walk into? The same thing you're always going to walk into when you watch this show. Okay, that's what you're going to walk into. Yeah, don't say peanuts. Yeah, don't say. If you say it fast, it sounds like something else. So they used to park the trunk ornament cars by the airport, Scott.
Yes, and those were always one body cars.
I got a question. Why did they call trunk music? What exactly is trunk music? Is that somebody in the trunk banging on the thing, let me out? Is that what trunk music is?
No, trunk music is, it'll make music afterwards. When they discover the body, it's going to be on TV. It's going to be on this. It's trunk music. It's sound. We're sending a message. We're sending a message to somebody.
Oh, see, I've never heard it explained like that before. Yeah. Somebody once told me that as the bodies decompose, the gases build up and they start making noises, you know, like little
that could be.
And that's what trunk music is. You're walking by the car and you hear these little.
They could be passing gas. They could be doing a lot of things in there.
What message do you think was sent with the two of them in the trunk?
They both screwed up. And they paid for it with their lives. That was the message. And same thing with I would say the M&M murders. Yeah. They both screwed up together on the same crime.
Yeah.
And that was the message that was sent.
Jasper, the mean-looking dude originally from Kansas City before becoming an outfit guy.
Yep.
So Jasper Campise, for those of you that remember, Frank Collada's description was, he could beat you to death with his eyes, batting them, flapping them. That's what it was. Beat you to death with his eyes, flapping them. He's kind of an ugly guy. I mean, he was not exactly easy on the eyes, to, put it mildly. So when you smell the smell of death, you don't forget. Miss can't be wrong. You're 100% correct about that. And you know what it is? It's the dust mites. When the body starts decomposing, that smell, it's actual dust mites. And they get into your nose. And that smell lingers in your nose. It's actually the mites, man, that are lingering in your nose. And it keeps,
Unless you use a little camphor. You wipe a little camphor around your nose. Or some people used to take cigarette filters.
I've seen that in movies.
And put them in their nose.
Yeah. So anyway, I went to the Cook County morgue and got a tour. The guys gave me a tour of the morgue. This was crazy. These guys were off. They're not being. If you work at the morgue, something's not clicking in there, right? And I don't mean disrespect if anybody works at the morgue that's watching this, okay? Because somebody's got to do that job. But they're a little off, those guys that work there. I remember we took a body in. I worked on, it was called ESDA, Emergency Services Disaster Agency in Calumet City, which is like the civil defense, fake bacon. That's what they called us, because we didn't carry guns. We had radios and drove around in cars, and we just did the stuff the cops didn't want to do, like take the bodies to the morgue, pick up the prisoner meals, the thing, that kind of stuff. So push cars, unlock cars, all that. Anyway, we went to the morgue, and I was with my partner at the time. It was a girl. And I said to her, let's ask and see if we can get a tour. So they did. They gave us a tour. She wanted to. All right. We were walking through the back, and the guy, he said, all right, now it was like Sam's Club, okay? Like these big giant, I kid you not, man, like 3 stories tall, 4 shelves. And now these are the ones that came in this week. And then them over there came in here last week. and the ones over there came in here the week before. And then on the back is all the parts and the babies. And I went, what? I said, what? So he said, at the time there was a girl that was beaten to death by her mom. It was all over the news. And he's like, did you see the girl that was on the news beaten to death? Yeah, come here, let me show her to you. And he pulled her up and showed us like oh my gosh. And yeah, her mama said that she hardly hit her and all. Look at this shit. Oh man. Anyway, he told us, you go look around. Came back in carrying we're probably gonna. Probably shouldn't even go here. Anyway, these guys are a little off their rockers. So,
I had some kind of an experience similar at Cook County Morgue. I got a tour of Cook County Morgue, and when I went in there, they actually gave me some camphor to put on. Yeah. And I was looking at the people that were being examined in different examination rooms, and they had this other room, and it looked like it was an aluminum door, and it opened, it just was free flowing. It opened up, and I said, what's in there? And he said, oh, you want to see that? We call that the stink room. And I said, what is it? And he said, come on, I'll show you. These guys are not sensitive to things at all. So as we went in there, I saw decomposing bodies that you really couldn't recognize as human beings. And there was a baby, and he reached over and grabbed the baby by the leg and threw it up on top.
Oh my God, stop.
And I said, what do these people die of?
Stop, man.
And he said, we don't know. Don't touch anything. And I said, that's it. I'm out of here.
That's crazy. Yeah. I remember the guy who was taken off. The guy died. He killed himself in his car, and we took him to the morgue. And anyway, they got to strip him down on the table. And he's taking off his clothes, and he's taking, he's got a watch. And it's like this, kind of like a clasp, okay, that goes over the fist. His hand's like this in a fist. He says, take the watch off. So I put the watch to get it one go. So I grabbed the hand and I started to like this to pull it open because the rigor mortis set in like this. And I dropped the hand. I said, I feel like I can't do this. I can't do it. You got to do it. I feel like I'm prying open a dead guy's hand to steal something, which is what I was doing. You know what I mean? No. Some people
usually the police got those. Usually the police got those watches before they brought them to the morgue. I knew a cop that had all kinds of them. He drove a wagon, and they would go and pick up bodies in a meat wagon, they called it. But they go and pick up bodies, and they take rings, they take jewelry, they check their wallets for money.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they'd rob them. They robbed the dead, man.
Alberto Lopez.
By the time they got to the morgue, you were lucky if there was anything to see.
Dust mites equal scabies. Let me tell you something. It's a nasty stuff. They put that stuff in their noses in Silence of the Lambs in that movie.
Camphor. That's camphor.
Yeah. It's the worst smell I've ever smelled. It's Don Ciccio di Porzallo. And Vicks works great. You know why it's the worst smell? Because it's something you're not supposed to be around. You know what I mean? That's just nature. That's nature letting you know that you shouldn't be around that. So, Cindy Workman, how are you? It's good to see you. Haven't seen you in a couple of weeks. I hope you are doing well. Many forget that the Chicago PD used to have to pick up every single dead body that had to go to Cook County Morgue, regardless if they were victims of a crime or not.
That's what I was just pointing out, Mike.
Well, I didn't. I did not know that. So, deputy coroner in St. Louis, John. You have a cousin who's a deputy coroner in St. Louis. Yeah, that's not what I would want to get into. Robert, I work estate accounts. I don't mind that my customers don't talk. I don't know. You guys are having a side conversation there. So 140. Hey, guys, hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the like button if you're just coming in here. Get it out. Hey, if you guys didn't hear about it, washed up over there at Lake Mead, they got a body in it. They say it's from probably the late 70s to early 80s. Because of what the man, it was a male, was wearing, according to the type of shoes that he had and whatnot, and his clothing articles. It kind of gives up the era that he's from. And they probably has something to do with the mob.
If they go through missing persons, and find out who is missing, approximately that height, approximately that age, there may be enough DNA to put it together.
Yeah, you know, dental records maybe, but you'd have to know who you were looking for to do that.
That's what I said. You have to go through missing persons.
You'd have to, you know how many people went missing back then? And what if this was something that was brought from somewhere else and dumped there, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
That, you know, it could be from a different city.
Well, if it was from Arizona or Chicago or something like that.
It could be Jimmy Hoffa.
I don't
what if they just found Hoffa? What if we find out that's Hoffa? That'd make big news.
Oh, yeah, it would.
Nobody's finding Hoffa.
No.
Hey, is it Hoffa? Cindy wants to say, see, Cindy even thinks maybe it's Hoffa. Janitor in the drum brand. Janitor in the drum brand.
Just like Johnny Roselli. He washed up on Key Biscayne in a drum.
They say
he was cut in half.
Flesh and bones. So it might be, you know, might be enough to identify it. So
DNA will do it on the bone.
I'm sure he's not the only one in Lake Mead, Scott. Yeah, no kidding. If it's not damaged enough, it might be, you know, able to. Yeah, they say as Lake Mead shrinks, there'll be more bodies. Yeah, that's what they said. The police said this as it keeps going down, which I'm starting to wonder what we're gonna do for water out here.
I've been wondering the same thing.
Seriously, what are we gonna do for water out here? Everybody stop flushing their damn toilets. You know, only if it's a number 2, you get to flush. Number 1, you don't get to anymore.
This is like back during the Depression.
Come up with new rules. You know what I thought? I thought this when everything shut down here in town, 2020 March, everything stopped. Right? You know what I actually predicted? I predicted Lake Mead would go up because all the hotels are empty. You don't have all these people taking these long showers and flushing toilets, right? Think that we would save. And Lake Mead would have filled up a little bit. I was wrong. Didn't.
The population's gotten way bigger than what it was.
You know?
They never counted on this.
L. Thomas, Tony Spilatro's brother, died today. Wasn't it a couple days ago?
He died, I believe, on the 25th. The 25th of April.
There you go. L. Thomas, thanks for thanks for chiming in.
A great obituary. I like the obituary that was done on him. And the thing that got me most, it really did, was it said, and other members that he considered family. I really thought that was nice. They put that in there. I wonder if Joe Collada went to that to his memorial service.
I don't know. I don't know. Miss can't be wrong. If it's mellow, let it yellow. If it's brown, flush it down. If it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, flush it down.
I've seen that on many places, fishing camps and stuff like that.
Yeah, right. Lake Mead will be empty before you know it. That's what I'm saying. So, all right, why did the outfit member, oh my gosh, why did the outfit member leave the thief that stole his wife's credit card alone? Because he spent less than her. Here we go. Water. That's what happens when you build a city in the middle of a desert, isn't it? Right? Oh my gosh. Lots of new talent coming in. Great job, Adam and Red. Keith Helton, glad that you're having fun. Red is right. Great orbit. Hey guys, I don't know if you know this. See the Stardust sign? Stardust sign. So Stardust is built in 1958. We were doing all the nuclear testing out here in the 50s and the 60s, 60 miles northwest at the Nevada test site. The sign, the Stardust sign, is supposed to represent a cloud from an atomic explosion. That's what it's supposed to look like, a mushroom cloud. It would light up from the bottom up to the top. Yeah.
The nuclear dust.
Now do you get it? Stardust, the radiation, the whole, that's what, because it was the atomic age when this thing was built. So that's the architecture style of Googie, by the way. Lots of neon, lots of glass, and lots of metal. Joe Collada said, no way. He didn't go.
Okay, Joe.
RV Doc, there's a lake on the Channel Lakes that's a known place where bodies were dumped in the lake. Oh, there's a lake in the Channel Lakes that's a known place.
Chain of Lakes.
Yeah. So,
That's a whole chain of lakes. I don't know which one he's talking about.
Right. Bobby, bag of donuts. Good thing they can't check all the holes in the desert. It was a good thing.
That's what our miner told me one time. We were driving out away from the strip, and he said, if Gabriel blew his horn, you don't know how many people would rise out of the desert. And I just looked around and said, okay, I'm not saying nothing. I'm not saying one word.
Right. So let's talk about another hit here that happened in Chicago. It's one of the mob's, let's call it greatest
Jimmy
hits.
Jimmy
Couture, the bomber, yeah. So he went around bombing taxi cabs back in the early 1900s, right? They had taxi
That was
cab wars going on.
1929, 1928, around that era.
Right.
He also, in his later career, he was doing the chop shops, and he wouldn't retire. And they asked him to many, many times. And he said, okay, I will. And he went out to Scottsdale. He built a beautiful mansion in Scottsdale. This is back in the beginning when I knew him in 68 and 1968. And he didn't. And then they kidnapped him and brought him up to Wisconsin and tried to get him to retire. And he said, oh, yeah, I will. He will. He didn't. So eventually, in 1978, he was at a meeting. He was going to a meeting. I was supposed to be at that meeting at Ogden and Hubbard, or Grand and Ogden, really. It was at Kozo's place. And all of a sudden, I got a call on the phone, and it was from Dick Hoyt. And he said, don't come in the he didn't say, he said, first thing he said was, don't say my name on the phone. I said, okay. But I knew who it was. He said, don't come into the neighborhood. We got mini camps all over the place. And I said, all right. He said, turn on a CBS, turn on your CBS News. And I went and turned on, hung up, went on the news, and I could see Jimmy laying there with his legs out. His legs were out, and those were the same patent leather shoes that I bought him, white patent leather with a silver buckle, that I bought him when I was out in Las Vegas, when he sent me out. And I looked at it and said, wow, that was bad. Right in the neighborhood, too. Ogden and Hubbard.
Some of these hits, they happen right in the broad daylight.
That was a broad daylight.
It was the guy with the shotgun in the van.
That was an early morning murder. That was probably 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. That particular one. Now, the shotgun in the van was Billy Dauber. Billy Dauber was on Manhattan Money Road. But the shotgun was the coup de grace. What they had was M1 carbines, military M1 carbines. And they riddled the car, they riddled him, and the car crashed and went off the road. But they went for the coup de grace with the shotgun. Very similar to the Danny Seaford murder. He was shot with a pistol, I believe, in the side of the cheek, on the face, while he was struggling. And then when he ran to try and get away, he was shot in the leg. And when he went down, somebody went over and put the shotgun to his head and blew his head off.
Wow.
So the shotgun seemed to be the same thing with Sam DiStefano. Another great hit.
Yeah,
Sam
there was
DiStefano.
Shotgun blast to the face, right? Like,
they hit him in the arm first. His arm blew off, and then he caught him a chest shot, which was the face and everything else.
I mean, facing your own brother. Boom. What the hell?
Tony did that.
But wasn't he with his brother?
Mario was he was standing behind Mario as they walked up, and then Tony came out with the shotgun from a side. The ruse was that they were going to find the star witness. They knew where he was, and they were going to go murder him. And he said, okay, I'll be in the garage. Pick me up. Reading comments?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I was reading comments. There's a little side thing going on here, and I hope that you're doing okay, Mickey Griggs. I see that you just got done with some physical therapy, so I hope that you're doing all right. There were 6 brothers left, Joe Collada saying. There were 6 brothers. There's only one left. Somebody asked, Ryan Brown asked, how many brothers did Tony have? So there's the answer. Which one's left?
John? I believe it's John, isn't it? Joe,
That'd be, I think, but I'm not certain. I have a friend out here in Vegas who thinks I should talk to that John, but I don't know. Take the mob tour. Adam talks all about Mo Dalitz. I do talk about Mo Dalitz and
Yes.
What Mo Dalitz did for Las Vegas. It's a lot of fun. Didn't Billy Idol sing about that? Eyes Without a Face. Okay, Chucky Nicoletti. They want to hear about Chucky Nicoletti. Tommy Bridges is asking.
That's
Frank was like the last person to see Chucky Nicoletti alive.
Was
Frank
he really?
Pilata. Yeah, he said he came into his place.
That's right. I remember that.
Remember that
story?
And he said it was like he left the bar, and he said just like an hour later, somebody came back. Hey, so guess who just got killed down the street?
That was his Spankies.
Spankies. That's what it was. That's what he said. Yes. So he was like probably the last person to see Chucky Nicoletti alive. Supposedly, Chucky Nicoletti had something to do with that JFK assassination. From what I hear.
Allegedly. I believe it. I believe it.
Allegedly. Sam DiStefano's house looks exactly the same today as back then. Minus the dead body. Yeah, Michael. God.
I think they cleaned it up. They had a lot of time to clean it up.
Unbelievable. Generic. I like your name, Generic. And welcome to the channel. I don't think I've ever seen your name before. Is today's mafia afraid of today's street gangs?
I don't think there.
There isn't a mafia.
I don't know. There is in New York. There is in New York, not in Chicago.
We got guys that have little operations going on, different things that are illegal, right? And maybe work their way into politics here and there. And, but they're not really, it's not like it was.
No.
I mean, it's never going to be like it was. Thank you, Joe.
As John Drummond said, the old gray mare just ain't what she used to be. John Drummond made that statement.
Sean Pender, did El Taco do hits?
Of course he did.
Yeah, he was doing them with El Burrito. He was doing them with El Burrito. That's funny. Al Tamale was with him too. I understand that there. Okay, Dorfman. Alan Dorfman. Let's move on to him.
That's
Alan
another
Dorfman was
daylight
the
hit.
attorney for the mob.
That's another daylight hit. He was also Alan Dorfman was also the Board of Trustees Teamsters Pension Fund. He approved all the loans for Las Vegas, and so basically he was tied up in all of that, and he was convicted in Pendorf, and he made a statement to Joey Lombardo. He said, "I can't do another 10 years." He already did 10 years in prison. And when he got out on bond, Joey didn't have enough money to get out on bond. He didn't show it on income tax, so he couldn't really show where he got the money to get out. But while he was in jail, he finally did get out. He was in the MCC, and he finally did get out. And Schweiss told me that he put 1 in his leg and 7 in his head. He walked up behind him and said, "This is a robbery." Irv Weiner was right there when it happened. Irv Weiner and they were both Jewish. So they were going to a place called The Bagel on a Sunday morning. And it was crowded. And they were going around. But they had a tracker on him. So they knew, what he was doing. Weiner helped him out on that job. But I got a kick out of it at the end because of this. Alan was laying there. He was dead. And the police asked, Irv Weiner, what happened? And he said, a guy came up and said, "This is a robbery." He said, "I ducked down on the ground. I got underneath the car." And he said, "I didn't see anything." But he was the actual man that set him up. He set him up for that murder.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow. Adam Zielsman, I did not see your question. I am sorry. Let me roll back up here. Adam, do you know of an underboss from California in the 80s, Los Angeles and Palm Springs, Vincent Jimmy Caci?
No.
Okay.
Don't know anything about him.
Miss Can't Be Wrong is saying that she hears that Frank Schweiss was a pure-blooded killer.
He was.
Cold-blooded killer, I meant.
He was. That's why people get up kind of amused when they see the tapes of Frank Schweiss sitting in my living room. You know, the tapes you showed? Because he looked so casual, easygoing, and yet he was a stone cold murderer. He didn't think anything about it.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy, the way that he was.
Now that I think about it, I was around a lot of murderers.
Yeah. So
We had drinks together. We went to even Marshall Cafano was a murderer. He murdered many people, but we'd go to breakfast together and hang out together and stuff like that and have drinks together. It's I was around a lot of them.
yeah.
Here's one that's interesting. Michael Graham.
Red can confirm this, but I believe Irv Weiner once owned American Bonding.
I don't know if he owned it. He was a partner in it. The American Bonding was at 11th and State. It was on State Street, really, close to 11th Street, right next to Mr. Pat's. And we used to cut through there to go into the across the street to police headquarters where they had lockup there. And the bonding place was so close that they could bond a jewel thief out. All they had to do was call over there and say, hey, send my guy down and the bond will be there. Don't worry about it. They had such connections with the police department. It was that easy. I had a guy in there for something at one time, and I think it was for possession or sale or possession of pornography. And I went down there and he said, what are you doing down here? And he said, wait a second, Joey Cosentino. Said, wait a second. And he went in his book and he called upstairs. The guy was down at the desk in like maybe 3 minutes. They went and got him, dragged him down right away. If I'd have waited in line, I'd have been there all day.
Yeah.
They had connections. American Bonding was something else.
Frank died in prison, right?
Frank who?
Schweiss.
Schweiss? Yes. He died in prison in 2008. His attorneys kept telling everybody that he was getting better from his small cell cancer, lymphatic cancer, which had spread throughout his body. And if you look at the picture of him when they arrested him with the crazy hair all over the place and everything else, his mind was gone. He had small cell cancer in his brain. He died of brain cancer and lymphatic cancer, but he'd had cancer for many years.
So Rye, Chris MC, in a nutshell, Red, why did these guys open up to you?
You know, I asked the FBI that a lot of times, and the only thing they said was, Red, they trust you. They trust you. You've never, in all the years you've been around them, you followed their rules. You did everything they said. If somebody told you to do something, you did it. You never asked why, you just did it. So they thought you were a stand-up guy and you could be trusted.
Boy, were they wrong. Keith Helton, who was the wild bunch.
Like Leo D'Angeli said after
I couldn't help it. I had to say it.
That's okay. Like D'Angeli said, Leo D'Angeli's an FBI agent, said after it was over, he turned around and he said, I'll tell you what, that's the best act I've ever seen in my life. He said, you were the best act. You deserve an Academy Award that you'll never get.
Do you know anybody from Melody Music Amusement on Grand Avenue? Trinidad Morones wants to know.
No, the only person I knew on, I'm trying to think of the name, is Gagliano's record store. I used to get records for my jukeboxes and everything. They give them to me for nothing. They just give them to me. I'd send people over there and say, get this. And I had an account and I went to pay the account one day and they said, you don't know, it's nothing. They just gave it.
JW said that's a pretty good interview that you did, Red, and Chuck on the crimes and entertainment today.
Well, actually, Chip or Wade, Hollywood Wade, released that today, and it was an interesting interview. Chuck's not happy with it, though, and he's made some announcements on Facebook about it. Why would I treat him different on camera? Well, my reason is when I looked at his documents, he mentions my name in his motion to go into court. I have no, he did that on the 29th. And I looked at it. We did this on the 30th, I believe. And he never said that when we were on. And he said, oh, we have a lot of common ground and a lot of things together. And I'm saying, well, yeah, okay. But I'm looking at it and saying, after I saw the documents, I'm looking at it and saying, this guy is in another world. I mean, he's totally in a different world than I am.
I haven't watched it. I have to watch the interview. I haven't watched it.
It's very interesting.
Interesting. Red used his brains. If he hadn't, he'd have been put in a hole.
That's about right. You got it there, guy.
You'd been put into a hole, or you'd been put into a damn barrel out at Lake Mead. All right, that's where your ass would end up, right there in that barrel out at Lake Mead.
I have a feeling when that person went in the barrel, they weren't conscious, so they didn't know.
How do you know?
When you're dead, you're dead.
Oh my gosh.
There ain't no coming back from the dead.
Yeah, there's no fixing that, is there?
No.
Oh my gosh. So poised for duty. No, I'm not censoring you. What are you talking about? Nobody's being censored here.
No.
I just looked back though. You said something about the Philly mob and had a scene there, and
I don't know anything about the Philly mob. Maybe that's why I haven't passed it over.
All right. So, did you know anything about Joe Glasser, who ran jazz clubs for Al Capone?
No.
I don't think that Red's that old, Tommy.
No, not only that, I don't read a lot of mob history that goes back about Al Capone and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All I do is kind of stay in my era. I can only tell you things that I know about.
How about Lenny Yaras? Does that ring a bell?
The name rings a bell.
Lenny Yaras hit?
I don't really know about it, no.
All right. John Apollo wants to know about Little Caesar.
DeVarco.
Caesar DeVarco, yeah.
Yes.
Did he end up getting killed too?
No, he was traveling. They sent him to Terminal Island in California, and they subpoenaed him in Washington to go before a Senate committee. And this was in the 80s. And I believe he was arrested in 79 or 80, something like that. But anyway, he was in a non-air conditioned wagon where they pick up prisoners along the way, stop at towns, all the way from California to Washington, D.C. Well, the U.S. Marshals would check them into a county jail. Some of the counties did not have air conditioning. They would go to a nice plush hotel, spend the night, come and pick their prisoners up, go and pick another prisoner up. And they kept doing this. I think it was a 3-week trip. And all the time he was complaining of chest pains. And they didn't give him any medical attention. He finally got to D.C., Washington, D.C., and they put him in the county jail in the District of Columbia. And when they did, he died. He died of a massive coronary. And the family sued. They sued the U.S. Marshals, and they got a real major settlement. Really? Yes. They took it all away because he had complained at each jail, and every jailer testified he was complaining of whatever, and that was it.
Oh my gosh, that's unbelievable.
Very sad way to go for what he did. I don't know any murders that he committed. I don't know of any murders that he committed. Basically, he ran Rush Street and, extortion, things like that. He was big on extortion.
William Kirchmayer, the outfit provided abortions, just the retroactive variety.
Kind of.
You could say that, I guess. Yeah.
They did with Charlotte Dauber. I'll tell you that much. Charlotte Dauber.
Pete Byron heard that it was Gianni Russo in that barrel. Oh, yeah. So Joey Lombardo's son's a professional breakdancer these days. ATB mob. Interesting. Don Ciccio Di Porzalo. In Corbett's book, Willow Springs police chief, he has said he said the outfit considered Albert and the Heights crew as the craziest killers of all the crews, and they even hated to drive through the Heights.
That was his opinion.
Okay.
Maybe it was the craziest he ever saw. Just like I spoke of this before. There's different people like Frank Collada, who said when he looked in Joey Lombardo's eyes, all he saw was death. He saw evil, death. And some people, that's what they saw in different people. I had 2 or 3 people. Kurt Hansen told me about Joey Lombardo. He said, when I look at my man's eyes, all I see is death.
Wow.
I didn't see death.
I don't know. I never saw him.
So if you cross somebody like that, I guess you saw death. If you had something to worry about, you might have been, thinking this may be my number. It's up.
Red, I'm sure you've been asked this a million times, but do you ever have any run-ins with Hoffa?
No.
You hear any
I met
rumors
Jimmy
about where
Hoffa.
he is? You ever hear rumors about where he is?
I've heard all kinds of rumors. I have no idea. I'm guessing. I believe that the newest rumor about New Jersey and digging up the dump, they may find something. They may.
Well,
It's so old. It's
They're
so
looking-
old, and there were so many chemicals there. Good luck.
They're looking for a big steel drum out there in New Jersey, just like the one they found in Lake Mead. So Jim Yeager wants to know, do you think that there was more dead bodies? Which lake has more dead bodies, Michigan or Lake Mead?
Lake Michigan.
Okay, so here's the thing. One day, we'll be able to count the ones in Lake Mead when it's gone. Lake Michigan isn't going away. So I don't think we're ever going to be able to count
It's
those.
over 300 feet deep. It's over 300 feet deep.
Yeah, when the feds take a prisoner on a long trip like that, it's called diesel therapy.
I call it death trap.
Don't forget about the big stoop Farrakada. Chased him across Belmont and blasted him in the driveway of a doorway of a bingo hall.
That's
Big
true.
stoop Farrakada?
Yep.
It's the first time I've even heard that name.
John Farrakada?
Yeah.
That was used in Family
Oh,
Secrets.
John
Nick
Farrakada.
Seifert.
Okay. Big stoop. I never heard him by
Not
that.
Nick
I've heard
Seifert.
Farrakada before.
Nick
Okay,
Calabrese.
not Farrakada.
Nick Calabrese is the one that shot him. That's
Okay.
the glove thing where he left the glove behind because he got shot during the struggle.
Yeah.
Big John Farrakada.
When did that happen? You don't know?
No, I don't. I really don't know. It was in the 80s, I believe.
Hoffa will never be found, according to Bobby Bag of Donuts.
You may be
Matt.
right, Bobby.
Mac, Red, have you ever heard of a man called something like Pinocchio? Also the name Panuch?
It rings a bell. But that's all. It was probably the guys were talking about him or something like that. But I really don't have anything to say about it.
Chicago Heights. Sean Pender, born and raised. It was awesome back in the day. I don't know about today. Back then, though, it might have been a lot nicer. But today, you wouldn't catch me driving through the Heights. Well, because I don't live over there. That's why. So, hi, Adam. Is Gus Greenbaum on your tour? Any of his locations? He worked for Lansky, I think. So, Homer, the only time that I say the name Gus Greenbaum is when we're talking about the El Cortez downtown. And it was Gus Greenbaum, Mo Sedway, Meyer Lansky, and Benjamin Siegel who purchased the El Cortez downtown. They wanted to expand it. They couldn't. The city wouldn't let them. They wouldn't give them the utilities they needed. So they sold it. They made a small profit on it. And then they went down this Highway 91 to the site of the Flamingo where Billy Wilkerson was building a hotel. Now, I've read a couple different things about that whole interaction with Billy Wilkerson and who actually started it at the Flamingo. But Billy was there working on a project. I know that Bugsy started in the Nevada Projects Corporation. Anyway, in a nutshell, when Bugsy was killed on June 20th, 1947, not even a half hour, 40 minutes after he was killed, Mo Sedway and Gus Greenbaum announced that the Flamingo were taking over. So that's all I say about it on the tour. So there really wasn't locations besides the Flamingo, which the last part of the original was torn down in '94. So there's really nothing of the original to see there. There is, however, a monument built to Bugsy Siegel at that site at the Flamingo. Farracotta. Huh? Go ahead.
Yeah, Farracotta was 1986.
Farracotta was 86.
I want to answer Bill Crawley's.
Sorry, Red. What do you know about the Spano brothers?
Well, I can tell you about this. One of them, Spano or Pano. I don't know anything about Spano. I know about Pano, but not
Spano brothers. I've never heard Spano brothers. Pansco
I don't know if
brothers.
he's talking about the janitors and the drum, because there were two bodies that Jimmy Marcello was involved in. They avenged his father, who was killed by this one guy, and there were two drums, like the one you just showed pictures of, that were in the back of a restaurant or something like that, a store, and they hadn't been found for years. But it was allegedly the two brothers, Jimmy and Mickey Marcello, that actually did the murder.
Jeez.
Wasn't discovered for almost a year.
Wow, that's a long time being a barrel. But not longer than that guy's been in a barrel.
No, I think
that guy's been in a barrel for like 40 years.
He holds the record, I think, right now.
Oh my God. Barrel found at Lake Mead. Imagine that. Lake Mead's drying up and bodies are starting to appear. Who'd have thunk, right? Come on. That'd never happen, right? Oh, so Misty Robka, was the mob involved in Moo and Oinks? I'll remember Moo and Oinks commercial. Oh my God. Moo and Oinks. That was with the cow and the cow and the pig, and they're dancing around in the commercial. I got a copyright infringement for playing that on the show. I think the Spano brothers were
Don't do it again.
Yeah, try not to. I think the Spano brothers were out of Cicero. Cicero? I've never heard of them before.
I've heard of them, but I did not know them.
Tom Baca, Pinocchio, connected to McCormick Place long time ago?
Yes.
Is that what it was, the connection there?
Yes.
Duke of Dunhurst, you want to know about Little Caesar? He owns a pizza chain. Any info on the Aladdin? Mac, I don't really talk about the Aladdin. The Aladdin's the Planet Hollywood now, and that's the site anyway. Jerry Listener was killed here in town. His wife, Jeannie, she was a cocktail waitress over at the Aladdin back in 1979. That's what I could tell you about the Aladdin. I mean, it was the Aladdin, I think, when I moved to town, maybe, or was it Planet Hollywood already? I can't remember. I think
Smash that like button, folks.
Spano brothers owned Flash Trucking in Cicero.
Yes.
Spano brothers. All right,
and I've
never heard of Flash Trucking.
I did.
Yeah, guys, like button. Hit the like button, okay? Please. Thanks, Brett Sheriff, for reminding us. Johnny Roselli, Sam Giancana, Chucky Nicoletti were all killed around the same time. I meant to read this earlier, Outfit Boss. Do you think that this was just a freak coincidence?
No. They all had one thing in common. They testified before the Senate committee, and they were called back to testify again a second time. Every one of them had something in common. That's the one common denominator they had, other than they were Chicago outfit.
John Sarkis worked at the Aladdin from 75 to 80. You worked with Jerry Listener's wife, Jeannie Listener, at the Aladdin, because she was a cocktail waitress there. I wonder if you knew her. Adam Dieselman, do you know the crew in Buffalo, New York? Adam, I hate to break this. We talk about the Chicago outfit here, man, not New York. So very rarely do we bring up anything about New York, because really there wasn't much of a connection there. There was a couple of guys came from New York though, right? Ended up becoming bosses in Chicago.
Oh yeah.
Well, the hell, Al Capone was from New York, right?
That's correct. In the very beginning.
So
all he had to do is get rid of Johnny Torrio and what's the other guy's name? Big Jim Colosimo.
I would have never guessed. John Apollo, did you hear about Cabrini Green? Is the highest real estate property in Chicago now?
Yes. Yes,
What?
I did. I knew that years ago when they started talking about tearing it down because it's right in a prime location. It's by the Gold Coast. And the truth of the matter is, they were talking about tearing it down all the way in the beginning. But that real estate, they were talking about putting 5-acre estates on there in the very beginning, years ago, back in the 80s.
All right, so that's I mean that's I'm looking at a map. Right now. I'm looking
Louis
at a map.
Louis DeMouche was from New York, and so was Sam Wings from New York. They
Hey,
immigrated.
this is still like the projects in here. I just jumped into Cabrini Green. Okay, what it looks like currently here. Let me show you, Red.
Okay.
Look, I jumped into Street View. Look at this. Share the screen here. Share. Boom. Okay. Boom. All right. This is right in the center of Cabrini Green.
Wow.
So this is literally, look, if we jump out, so this area right here is Cabrini Green, the area that's you know.
And the area east of
Where?
there is like really prime property.
Well, you know, let me jump somewhere else in here. Francis Cabrini Homes. Let's go over here into it.
Boy, it didn't look like that when I was there.
Well, this still looks like the project's there. I mean, you go down the street a little. This over
Yeah,
here looks a little bit nicer housing.
It
you
looks
know?
very nice compared
That
to what it was. There are a bunch of, high-rise row houses. And they didn't have any vacant land like that, a park. They
This,
didn't have
this
anything.
over here on the right, that looks like the projects to me. Like, if I was driving through this neighborhood, I wouldn't go in here. But this also looks like it looks like they got dumpsters and crap in here, like they're moving everything out. Maybe that's what's going on. They're going to tear this all.
Put that on there. They used to put that out there for people to throw their garbage away.
There's no cars in here. What?
Maybe
There's no
it's vacant.
cars. This is all fenced off, man. They're shutting
Maybe
this
it's
all
vacant.
down.
Maybe they're getting ready to tear it down. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's what it looks like to me. So, all right, guys, we're going off on a tangent here. This has been fun today. It's been a blast. I'm so happy all of you guys showed up. Almost 200 of you in here today. So those are abandoned, Adam. That's what I'm seeing, right? DPC, thanks. All of them were families. Red, do you know why the Chicago mob was called the Outfit?
Yes. In New York, it was the mafia or our thing or whatever. In Chicago, Al Capone put together people that were Jewish, Greek, Polish, all different ethnic groups. And he just called them my outfit. Like my outfit when I was in the Marine Corps, or my outfit, my people.
Right.
They didn't have to be 100% Italian.
Gotcha. So that's how it was.
He was the first non-discriminator for organized crime.
This can't be wrong. You guys are in Vegas. I'm in Vegas. Red over here is in Florida.
Yes.
And you're welcome. Spelatro, it's been like that for 20. Richard Spelatro, thanks for coming in again today. Guys, it's been fun. We'll see you soon, Joe. By the way,
we're going to an after party at my place.
Yeah, we're doing an after party. It's down there in the link. There was a barrel found at Lake Mead. Did I mention that? The body in it? Oh, my God. And I don't think I told you guys. Oh, yeah, actually, I did tell you guys. It's beautiful weather out here. get on a plane, come to Vegas, and do the Vegas Mob Tour. It's so good. Even Paul Whitcomb came on the tour the other day. Guys, it's been fun. Mob Vlog.
Hey guys, welcome back to Mob Vlog. Check out who's here in town. It's Paul Whitcomb and his beautiful wife, Mo. What'd you guys think of the tour?
Fantastic. I loved it.
What'd you think, Mo?
It was great.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Did it feel like 2.5 hours?
It was like 10 minutes. I want to go again.
That's what everybody says. Thanks again for coming on the tour, guys. I really do appreciate it. And you guys have a great day.